Hi, this is Pam from the Birch Cottage blog. Welcome to my video tutorial on how to sew a flannel burp cloth. There are a few supplies that you will need to begin this project: a pre-folded cloth diaper, some flannel fabric, a rotary cutter and cutting mat, a clear acrylic ruler, and of course some thread, scissors, and a sewing machine. The first thing that you will want to do is to cut your fabric. You'll need a piece of fabric 13 inches wide by 19 inches high, or whatever the dimensions are of your pre-folded cloth diaper. So again, you will cut your fabric 13 inches wide by 19 inches long, or whatever the dimensions are of your pre-fold cloth diaper. And then you're going to sew those two pieces of fabric together. Lay the flannel fabric face down on top of the pre-folded diaper, and then sew with just a narrow 1/4 to 1/2 inch seam around the entire perimeter of the diaper, leaving an opening big enough so you can turn it inside out. So again, just continue sewing about a 1/4 of an inch seam around the entire perimeter of the diaper. And pivot at your corners. And when you get to those really thick parts in the middle of the diaper, just slow your stitching down so your machine can work through that thickness without breaking your needle. Be sure to backstitch when you get to the end of your stitching, and then you're going to want to trim all those corners and trim any extra seam or fabric that you may have along your seam, like I do with my flannel here. I cut it just a little bit too wide. So trim all that up so it's nice and narrow, and then you'll be ready to turn your fabric inside out. Be sure to trim up any loose strings that you have, and then turn your burp cloth inside out. Once you have it all turned inside out, we're going to take it over to the iron and press it nice and flat. So like I said, the next step is to press the seams along the edges of the burp cloth so that they're nice and flat. So this is just me pressing my burp cloth. Sorry that the picture was so dark. But the next thing that we're going to do is to do some top stitching. We're going to stitch 2 rows of stitches along, maybe 2 or 3 inches in from the long edges on each side. And we're also going to stitch around the entire perimeter of the burp cloth. This will just help to secure, kind of like quilting, the flannel to the burp cloth. So again, about 3 inches in from each of the long edges, and then a real narrow, like less than a 1/4 of an inch stitch around the entire perimeter of the burp cloth. This will help to secure those layers together and close that opening that we made when we turned the burp cloth inside out. All right, so I'm just finishing up my burp cloth. I'm finishing up that narrow 1/4 of an inch seam around the entire perimeter. Slowing down for the really thick part so I don't break my needle, and then just backstitch when I get back to the beginning. And then I'm going to trim all the extra threads, and then my burp cloth is ready for gifting. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please be sure to like it below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. For more ideas, be sure to visit me on the Birch Cottage blog, and thank you so much.